and use of evidence, which is quite good in the public sectors in Uganda. Health here, agri, and all that have been much improved. So there is rapid evaluation approaches have been adopted in Uganda, and then in terms of capacity strengthening, a number of government staff across ministries have been trained in monitoring and evaluation, and they now understand M&E systems. The departments responsible for monitoring and evaluation in the office of the Prime Minister in Uganda now has liaison persons in every sector, which is quite commendable, with M&E language, and then is being used. 20 also has helped in terms of evidence-based policy making and implementation course in Uganda. But then, if you look at the way forward, the way forward, please. 20 has established systems generally. If you look at the South African situation vis-a-vis the Ugandan situation also, there is research on performance monitoring and evaluation. That culture has been strengthened in both countries, which is very good. Evaluation, rapid evaluations are now being conducted. The Department for Planning, Monitoring, Evaluation have been identified, and topics have been generated with the University of Cape Town running the course for Director Generals and then directors, and they are still underway. This program has been ongoing since 2016 or thereabout. Then in Uganda, a network for the practice and use of evidence is also something that has been done to promote national policy advocacy. Then in addition, they have the D part, whilst the South African have the M part. These have influenced the reforms of the national monitoring and evaluation strategy and capacity building in both countries. Then there's also, maybe in support of my earlier speaker, the evolving role of Parliament, especially during this era of the pandemic, and ways that they have adapted to meet their roles, so which is very good. And then they need to get the right data and the use of the data. But in contributing to achieving the SDGs, which I'm ending on it, 20 has supported in the gender responsive evaluations, and a gender diagnosis study was actually conducted, and the results of the study informed the development of women in South Africa, leading to development of the gender responsive policy framework for evaluations, planning, budgeting, and auditing. And these have been mainstreamed into the guidelines. Again, the Department of Monitoring Evaluation is also supporting evaluations in projects, which is also currently underway. So you realize that the gender work is tied to SDGs principle of no one to be left behind. However, there is no evaluation that has been conducted that is fully gender responsive. But what has been done relates to the SDG 5, gender equality. So largely, this is what 20 has done in relation to the country-led in South Africa and then in Uganda. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nana, for that profiling of twin Mbele countries, how they've entrenched their M&E systems. We now move on to Professor Ian Goldman, who is today representing SAMIA, and he'll be speaking on the role in institutionalizing evaluation.
Thank you, Aya. It's a pleasure to be with you all. My normal hat is a clear hat, but today I'm speaking on behalf of SAMIA. I'm a board member of SAMIA. And if we can move to the next slide. So the first question was around the institutionalization of evaluation in the public service. And to make evaluation and evaluative work function effectively in the public service is not just something government does, it requires a whole ecosystem. One needs creative thinking on how evaluation can play a role in management. We need a system for incorporating evaluations in the management process. It's not just enough for one department like the Department of Planning, Monitoring, Evaluation, or Nana's department, NDPC, to advocate. You need a coalition to support evaluation, so there's buy-in both across government, but potentially also from non-government organizations. And you need training in evaluative practice, which has both formal and short courses, standards and competences, and you need professional evaluators. And to achieve all this is not just something that government can do. It needs a wide range. For example, you need universities or public sector management training institutes on the training side. You need to have a system that will get agreed standards and competences across government and with the people that are supplying evaluation. You need the coalitions, and in all of these, the VOPE can play a very important role, and Samir does in a South African context. If we can move to the next slide. And what about when we look at Made in Africa evaluation approaches and how we can take these on in the public service? So the first thing is we can't just adopt models from other countries, from the West. We need to develop systems and approaches which respond to our own particular realities, as Ghana is doing, as Nana is doing, for example, in Ghana, or as Uganda is doing, or Benin is doing. And we need to think about, from Made in Africa, we need to think about a range of questions. How can evaluation respond to indigenous ways of sensing the world, relating, thinking, feeling, and exploring the implications of those? What does that mean, for examples, about how we take reciprocity in getting feedback from evaluations or participation in evaluation steering committees? What does it mean about whether we should be having learning or punitive accountability-based approaches to evaluation? And in terms of design and methodology, what does this mean for designs, the oral traditions? What does it mean for the way we do interviews, for the way we do focus groups, for the use of participatory methods? It's not very easy for the public service to explore these, because the public service tends to want very bureaucratized and standard systems, which are not relationally focused. And Western culture tends to be very task orientated and not so relational orientated, whereas African culture is much more relational. And the VOPE provides an opportunity to provide these innovative ideas, to collaborate with government and with parliament to explore these types of models. And Samir is going to be planning to explore these approaches in a hackathon that's happening later in 2021 and in our conference, which will be in 2022. And we're looking forward to peer-to-peer learning opportunities with other VOPEs across the region, which allows us to document best practices and ultimately improve our practice and hopefully our impact on development in our respective countries. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof, for that perspective on the role of VOPs in institutionalizing M&E systems and evaluations more particularly. Our next speaker is Dr. Kobna Hansen from the Independent Evaluation at the Africa Development Bank, speaking on the role of development partners in promoting evaluation in Africa. Over to you, Doc.
Thank you very much and good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Perfectly, Doc.
All right. So yes, I am with IDEV, and IDEV, as you're aware, is the independent and an impartial basically unit dedicated to enhancing development effectiveness of AFDB. As part of that, it does this through its independent and instrumental evaluations, the oversight of self-evaluation, processes and products, proactive engagement in evaluation partnerships, and knowledge sharing activities. There are three objectives that underlie what we do at IDEV. One is accountability, the other is learning, And the third is promoting an evaluation culture, which is central to why we're here this afternoon, right? So accountability basically to the board and to our stakeholders, learning cuts across, so both within the bank, but also with our partners, VOPs, and also stakeholders in country. And similarly, the evaluation culture also cuts across. So if you can go to the next slide, please. All right, so how do we promote an evaluation culture? And in IDEF, we try to do it both from the supply side and the demand side. So if you look at the supply side, IDEF has been working with organizations such as, let's say, AFRIA for a long time, supporting their work. We've been partnering with Twende, and we all heard from Nana's presentation, right? To ensure that there's a steady supply of quality evaluations that can support countries in their efforts. So there's also a bit of practicing outreach, targeting countries through communication efforts. And we also have the demand side. In between, we also have IPRADI, and IPRADI basically is a network of regional evaluation platform for regional development institutes, right? So we have people like DBSA, COMESA, we have BOAD, we have UEMWA, and the goal is basically to help them enhance their capacity, not only to deliver evaluations, but also to harmonize the methods and practices that they utilize. Okay. Then we had Honorable Mpariwa speak. Also, we support UpNode on the demand side. So UpNode is the African Parliamentarians Network on Development Evaluation. Well, in addition to those that I've sort of put here, IDEF also basically works closely with eval partners. We're partnering with the GEI, the Global Evaluation Initiative. We work closely with CLARE, both CLARE AA, CLARE FA, and we're hoping soon to be doing more work with CLARE Lusophone Africa, which are based out of Brazil. And then beyond that, we support different evaluation communities in countries. So whether it's, let's say, the Uganda Evaluation Association, whether it's the Ghana M&E Forum, whether it's the Ivorian Evaluation Community, right? So different stakeholders, all in the spirit of ensuring that we're promoting this culture where we're learning from each other and we're building a valued evaluation culture across Africa. And you can go to the next slide because we have 3 minutes. All right, so what I want to basically emphasize here is that IDEF definitely is very committed to the consultations that are ongoing, which we're hoping will lead to the development of an action plan that will further advance and enhance the way we utilize evaluation, but also should help countries as they accelerate towards the attainment of their SDGs. We believe that the goal of these consultations dovetails very well with IDEF's mandate to strengthen evaluation and foster evaluation culture. We historically have supported young and emerging evaluators. We've been trying to work with experts in the field, basically to better understand made in Africa evaluation. So some of our publications, like the recent Evalu Matters magazine, focused on that topic. And we previously also did pilot some work in Ethiopia and Tanzania on efforts to strengthen national evaluation systems. And we believe that all these activities definitely will be insightful for the discussions we're going to have. And we're hoping that we can share experiences in this regard. So on behalf of IDEF management, you definitely can count on our support in developing this action plan. and also the advancement of made in Africa evaluation approaches and methods. I must also say that I do share Ian's viewpoint that more needs to be done regarding made in Africa evaluations. And I'm hoping that through this discussion that we're having and the follow-up consultations, that we'll get there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Hansen, for that insightful overview of IDEF's partnerships with key evaluation stakeholders, as well as your emphasis on the Made in Africa evaluation paradigm that AFRIA has been pushing. The final speaker for this session is Mr. Mark Mulobi, representing the Young Emerging Evaluator Network of AFRIA, focusing on the role of YES in this drive towards the institutionalization of evaluations in the public service. Over to you, Mr. Mulobi.
Thank you so much. We are glad to be here. My name is Mark Mulobi. I represent the Young and Emerging. I'm one of the many active Young and Emerging evaluators in the continent. And we are joining this discussion, this conversation, because we've actually identified two areas of improvement. One, we've noted that there is lack of national evaluation community, specifically for the years across the continent. The other big challenge we've noted is that there is lack of national initiatives to involve years in activities. And it's in this cause that young and emerging evaluators are keen to join in this conversation. Right now, there are more years today in East and Southern Africa continent, you know, this region that we are consulting in, and actually in Africa as a whole. There are more years than we've ever had. You know, I'm quite involved at the AFRIA. We sent out a call to have young and emerging evaluators join the AFRIA network, and we got about 400 registrants. So this calls for attention to say that yes, these young and emerging evaluators are here and they want to partake in this discussion. They are highly eager to build their capacities and enhance their evaluation skills. Currently, we are working with a peer-to-peer hub that we are developing in Africa, whereby we want to have years of space for discussion, a safe space for them to learn on how to forge in this new platform for them. Again, we also joining in this because years across Africa, they are cooperating in unprecedented ways. As I've mentioned in the peer-to-peer, we also seen years in VOPE leaderships. I actually know quite a number of years here who are in the VOPE leadership, which is very, very commendable. And years are also joining this discussion because they are all round. They are not only focused on youth issues, but they are keen on issues of climate change, gender and equity, and also social change. Years, they are engine for activism. And finally, years are the custodians of the future and of our world. And we must therefore ensure that we empower the years to guard that future. It is a smart choice. It is the only choice moving forward. And we hope to be joined in this conversation. Thank you so much. Over to you, the moderator.
Thank you, Mr. Mulobi, for bringing in the youth voice and situating it within this paradigm of evaluation capacity development. So that brings the first session to an end, a session that has been rich with key inputs from across the M&E ecosystem spectrum, ranging from parliaments to institutions who work with the executive, to even bringing in the issue of gender responsive evaluations as part of the drive towards achieving sustainable development goals, and also Mr. Mark Mulobi bringing in the youth voice and how we need to harness the untapped potential of the youth in Africa to sort of group into this evaluation drive. So the next section, the next session of this consultation is the group discussions now. Fazila and the team will be breaking us into 9 groups. And all these 9 groups will be basically grappling with the 3 questions that were raised by Afria in December 2020. So the main question is, what actions should be prioritized to ensure influential evaluation that accelerates the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals and the Africa we want? And will be grouped into 3 main groups. Well, it's not 3 main groups, but the groups are essentially based on those 3 themes. 1, the professionalization of evaluation, including young and emerging evaluators. The second theme is building robust national M&D policies and systems for evidence-based decision-making in African countries. And the third theme is, how do we nurture made in Africa evaluation approaches to support the implementation of SDGs to achieve the Africa we want? So those are the, that is the main question and the 3 themes that we will be grappling with for the next 40 minutes. And the conclusion of which we will assign 1 facilitator from each group to provide a report back to the main session, which will be our last session before moving to close this consultation. Fazila and team, I think you can take it away with assigning participants to the various groups. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayabalela. I'm just checking. Kevin, are we ready to move to the breakout groups?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so I think everyone will get an indication on your screen to move to your breakout group, where you will join your facilitator and note taker. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, moderator. Can you please assist me?
Okay, I'm here.
Yeah, so I think I was put in a French-speaking group. Unfortunately, I'm from an English-speaking background.
Yes, the group you are in is both French and English.
Or is it? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. The
Okay,
conversation.
but no problem. I can assign you to another
Okay.
English group. Yeah,
Okay, thanks.
you're welcome.
Please, Kevin, can you send me to the Made in Africa evaluation group?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, if possible for me, can you join me to the Young and Emerging Evaluators group? Thank you.
Young and emerging.
Hello, Simyasa. This is Asela. I was in a French group. Is it possible for me to go to an English group?
Yeah, Kevin will assist you.
Okay,
Kevin, yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, it is Arsene, facilitator for the group Free. Can you help me to get in?
Okay, which group, sir?
Group Free. Made Africa. Please, do you hear me? French group.
Okay, so
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. My
Yeah,
group is
Salifu.
group 3. My group is group 3. Arsene
Yeah.
Salifu. It is made in Africa. The team is made in Africa. And I'm the
Yeah.
facilitator. Can you help me to get in, please?
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Allô. Oui, bonsoir, Abdul Karim Diallo venant de la Guinée, mais j'ai tout fait pour qu'on voilà, passe à le groupe en français, mais il n'y a pas de changement d'abord. Je suis francophone, est-ce que vous pouvez me tenir compte de ça?
Est-ce que vous étiez dans une groupe déjà ou bien c'est maintenant qu'on va vous mettre dans un groupe?
Je ne suis pas dans un groupe.
Vous étiez dans un groupe?
Je suis là, je ne suis pas dans un groupe.
Votre connexion, c'est pas si bon, mais je vous entends mal.
On est 6 participants. Alors, je dis que voilà, je ne suis pas dans un groupe. Je ne vois pas,
Ah, ok.
en tout cas, je ne suis pas mis dans un groupe.
Ok, d'accord. Kevin, can you put him in a francophone group? If his name is on the list, put him in a francophone group. Kevin?
Oui. Allô?
Kevin? 1 minute, monsieur.
Ok, je suis là. Allô?
Hello, monsieur. 1 minute, s'il vous plaît. Asela, are you sorted, please? Because you appear on the screen here. Can you confirm if you are sorted out?
No, because I'm still waiting. I requested to put in English group.
Okay, I'm sorry. Just a minute, please. Sorry, everyone. We are having a bit of a technical challenge. Kevin is working on it and should put everybody in a group in the next few minutes. Désolé à tout le monde. Je vous présente nos excuses. On a un petit problème, mais on est en train de régler ça, s'il vous plaît. Merci. KYA, can you please rename yourself so we know who you are? Thank you. Hi, Ian. Were you in a group? If you were, can you please give me your group number so I put you back in? Oh, no, sorry. KYA, can you please rename yourself? Hi, Asila. Please, can you confirm which group you want to be in?
Group 3 English.
Group 3 English. Kevin, Made in Africa English.
Yeah, Made in Africa English.
Abdou, est-ce que c'est possible de confirmer le groupe, votre groupe préféré, s'il vous plaît?
Moi, un groupe en français. Je suis de la Guinée.
Ok. Est-ce qu'il y a un sujet un sujet qui vous intéresse?
Oui. Oui, le premier sujet, par exemple.
Le premier sujet, ok.
Attends, je vais voir. Attends, je vais te revenir pour confirmer.
Ok, d'accord.
Je vais noter là. Oui, le premier sujet, je confirme.
Le premier sujet.
La professionnalisation de l'évaluation, y compris des évaluateurs jeunes et émergents. C'est ça?
Ok.
Okay.
Yes, I've added Asela to group 3, but you need to accept it. Accept the.
Okay. Asela, can you kindly accept from your end, please? Now, can you
I
add?
didn't get a message.
Oh, Kevin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he should be able to accept it.
He said he doesn't have an acceptance notification. So
There should be a message appearing, right? Then I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Please, have you seen it? Has the message appeared?
No.
And then if you can add Abdul to the first group, French speaking.
To group 1?
Yes, the professionalization. Do you have professionalization? Is group 2 rather?
Yeah, it's group 2. It's group 2.
So put him in a French speaking one, please. So group 2 or group 8 or group 5, whichever one is French speaking. Awesome. Asela, we seem to have, I'm not too sure why you're not getting the notification,
Yes.
but if you can check again. Kevin, can you send again, please?
Yeah, I've sent again. I've sent like twice.
Okay, Asela, I'm going to put you in a waiting room, and then we put you back in and then see if that will work.
Okay.
Kevin, you may have to put Sim back.
Yeah, I'm putting him back. Is it time or something?
No, it's not time. Still have about 20 minutes. So I'm putting Asela back.
Okay.
Okay, Asela is back. Can you send him to an English-speaking MAE group?
Okay, he's already in group 3.
Yes, but that is French-speaking. So he wants an English-speaking one.
MNE.
Yes,
Okay,
MNE.
So group 1.
Which group did you put Sim in?
Someone asked me to put him in MNE.
Which one is the French-speaking one?
Group 3. Group 1.
Kevin, I asked you to put me in made in
Africa, French-speaking. Which one?
And you send me to MNE systems, robust system group. I was asking for made in Africa evaluation group, and you send me.
Hi, Asela. Have you been able? You still can't. Asela is gone. Okay, that's fine.
Hello, Sim. I've sent you to Made in Africa evaluation.
Okay, so there's a new person. Now everyone is gone. Leonelas. Can you see the person and whether the person is on the list? Leonelas or something.
No. Let me see.
Sometimes people. Okay, so you can put him or her somewhere. Leonelas. We are in group meetings. Can you please indicate which of the groups interest you and which language you would want? And then we can put you in one.
Lineless. Okay, I think group 9. Yes, it's group 9.
Hello? Okay.
Hello.
Yes, please accept the join the group.
The invitation so you can join. Awesome. Everyone is gone now. Oh, another person is coming.
This doctor, I don't know. He's not in the list.
Well, so let him come. Sometimes people don't register. So let him come, we ask him.
Okay.
Hi, Dr. Jefta. Please, can you indicate which group you would prefer? We are in group meetings now. We're having this group discussions. Hi, Dr. Jefta. Can you indicate which group you would prefer and which language? We are having group discussions now. Sorry, you're muted, so we can't hear you.
Can you please come closer to your microphone?
We still can't hear you. I'm not too sure why, but it appears your speech is not coming through. We can see you, but your speech is not coming through. Hi, Doctor. I'll suggest you log off and log in again if it's possible.
Or you can use the chat session. Yeah.
But he needs to be able to participate in the group.
Okay.
Can you log off and come back online, please?
Someone is asking for help on their car.
Pardon?
Hello. Oneka is asking for help in group 5 professionalization. Should I join or you join?
I'm coming. I can't see the chat. Is it in the chat?
No, it's not in the chat. It's a pop-up.
Okay, I don't have that pop-up. Oops, I closed the groups.
So
Okay.
should I join and ask her?
Yes, you can join and ask.
Do you need to send do you need to send a message? Broadcast message?
No, we still have 15 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, let me, who is asking for the help?
Anna. Hey, Anna.
Anna Erika.
Mm.
Okay, let me join so that you can look at anybody who pops in. Group 5.
Yes.
I can't join. No. I don't know. I'm clicking, but it's not taking me there.
Mm. I'm trying to leave. Okay, leave. Hello, Avi. Hello. Oh, okay. Let me open your.
Kevin. Kevin.
Yeah, hello. Avi.
Kevin, you need to put what do you call him? Remy in a professionalization French speaking one. French speaking group.
Okay. So you need
So
to
you
tell
put him
him.
for group 5. He's in an English speaking one, so put him in a French speaking one.
Okay. Oh, Remy.
Yes, Remy.
So where should I put her?
Which professionalization group is French speaking?
Okay, it could be group 2. It's group 2.
Group 2, Leona, Evo, Felice.
It's English and French. English.
But you don't have a purely French speaking one?
No, the thing is most of them are English and French.
Okay, put him in group 2.
Okay.
Put him in group 2. Let me go to group 2 and see if they are doing English and French. No, it's not Anna.
It's who?
Remy. So put Anna back, please. Put Anna back to group 5 and move Remy.
Okay.
Kevin Ucho.
Okay, group 2. I need to put them back. Oh. And then
Group 2, Remy. Okay, let me join and ask if they're okay. Kevin, there are 2 people in the waiting room. Rodrigo. Abdul. Please, can you state which groups you are in so that we can quickly put you back?
Who?
Those who are back here. Abdul, Nelly, Rodrigo.
Yeah, Nelly, I think I know where Nelly belongs. Nelly is in the M&E systems, group 1.
Okay, Abdul, can you please state your group?
Rodrigo.
Rodrigo, can you kindly state your group?
Oui.
No.
Oui.
Abdul, est-ce que c'est pour d'indiquer votre groupe? Rodrigo, can you state your group, please? Rodrigo, puedes indicar
I think I know where Rodrigo is. M&E systems, group 6.
M&E systems.
Vous me recevez bien?
Yeah, kindly accept the.
Hello?
Abdul, est-ce que c'est possible d'indiquer où vous
Est-ce que
étiez?
vous me recevez?
Oui, on vous attend, mais ce n'est pas si clair.
Puis, j'étais dans... J'avais pris la prochaine série en français. OK, moi je suis de la Guinée, un pays francophone, et j'avais bien voulu participer. Et voilà, mais vu que je ne peux pas, bon, le mieux c'est d'attendre la version française. Mais après, je ne pars, j'ai dit que je voudrais bien vous exprimer ma volonté et la volonté membre fondateur du réseau guinéen de suivi et évaluation. C'est l'un des tout derniers réseaux qu'on est en train de créer au niveau de l'organisation nationale que nous sommes en train de créer.
Ok.
Et en Guinée,
je vous entends un peu mal.
La Guinée n'a pas encore son organisation nationale. Oui.
Je vous entends un peu
Vous
mal
me
parce
recevez
que
pas bien?
la connexion, oui, la connexion n'est pas si bonne. Mais ce que je vais dire, c'est qu'on aura une version française de cette consultation. Donc, vous pouvez aussi participer dans cette consultation.
Ok.
Ça serait en français comme ceci est en anglais. Mais si c'est possible, vous pouvez suivre ce qui se passe en anglais. Et puis, quand on a la version française, vous pouvez nous joindre aussi. On va communiquer la date avec tout le monde qui est inscrit pour cette consultation en anglais.
Okay, how many minutes do you have?
4 minutes.
Vous
Let me just
recevez bien? Vous me recevez bien?
On vous reçoit, mais ce n'est pas si clair.
OK. Donc, comme ça, je pense que je vais vous laisser continuer. Et je dis, je vais continuer. Voilà. Je n'ai pas la version.
Kevin, please put Daniel back in his group.
Yeah, group 4. I've added it.
Abdul, est-ce que c'est possible d'envoyer un message? Comme la connexion n'est pas si claire. Si claire.
Should I? So we have like 2 minutes, right?
Yes.
So if I click close room right now.
No, don't close.
No, it will give a 2 minutes countdown.
It's already counting down here.
Hey. Yeah, I've seen it.
May I remind you, I'm 1 minute. I'm sending a 1 minute reminder. So will you let it count down and close on its own, or you would ideally should give you the notification? Kevin, Kevin, please put Governor back.
Yes, Abigail, today we are on time.
Yes. We still have a few people, a few groups who are yet to return.
Yeah, they'll join us. Yeah. We had a very good discussion.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
I can't say the same.
Oh, great.
Was it because of the language challenge?
Not really. We were just two of us from the same country. There was no one else. So, we tried to call for support so that we could see if we could join.
Which group was that? Because I don't think we saw anything. We only had a call from group 5.
We were only four guys there in group 5.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we could have added some groups together if that complaint had come.
Yeah, I sent a request 2 or 3 times because I was in group 7, but I saw that everyone was busy. We tried to discuss, but imagine we're coming from the same country and just 2 of us. The discussion was not like very productive. Like if we had different opinions from different countries.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe in subsequent ones, what you can do is to send a message, and maybe we could add you to other groups that have similar discussions.
Sure, that's true.
Yeah. Thank you for the feedback.
Yeah, sorry, Thomas.
Even for us who were complaining, in the main group we were 40 something, 44, 45. How come in my group we are only 3 guys? Where are the others?
Actually, in my group we were 4.
Yeah, we had 9. We had 9 groups, everyone. So we did have 9 groups, and we split everyone across the 9 groups. So I think I'm not good in maths, but if you have to divide everyone by 9, it would be fewer.
But it was good.
Oh,
I am glad.
Yeah.
Okay, so we hand back the floor to Aya Boleda. Over to you.
Thanks, Fazila. Welcome back, everyone. So now we move to the final session for this consultation, and let's begin with the report back from the various groups. So I'll start with group 1. I think the report back will be provided by Mohammed Zakaria.
So Mohammed wasn't able to join. So I think I was the only one doing both. So if you could move to the next group and then you come back to me later because I'm just compiling the points.
Oh, okay, no problem. Okay, let's move to group 2, which was focusing on the professionalization of evaluation in Africa. And I think I'll take, is it as Venancio Angachero in English and Portuguese?
Hi everyone, this is not, sorry, this is not Venancio, this is Feliz. We had a discussion in English and I will ask to my colleague Leonard to say what we were discussing in our group. Thank you. Leonard.
Leonard?
Hello.
Yes, Leonard.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So sorry for that. Yeah, I will be able to share what we discussed as a group. So we were able to tackle at least the 4 questions. And question 1 was what new approaches can be used to strengthen knowledge and practice for influential evaluation in Africa. So we came out with 3 points. One of them is involving youth in terms of evaluation. Then also using appropriate adaptive technologies, that are inclusive, and also they reach the majority of the people, especially disadvantaged members of our community. Then also we need to have communities take lead in using such technologies, so that we can be able to improve the African life. And this came from, if you look at the Western, when they are right now they are developed, when they were developing, they didn't have the kind of technology that is available for Africa. So Africa, we are developing, so we can leverage on technology that is currently available that the developed countries didn't have when they were doing the development. Then question 2 was, which critical mass should we identify as priority to focus on? So there are 2 kind of line of thinking. One, it will depend on depend on the level, probably where the critical masses lie. So probably at the beneficial level, then also at implementers of the project, then also at evaluators level, then also at policymakers and also key decision makers or even political class. So we at that level, we couldn't point out whichever, so it will depend on each level. Then there was another line of thinking, which was talking about the beneficiaries and communities need to be empowered to use evaluation within their local context. And this one was coming from a point whereby the communities themselves, they have the local knowledge, they have the local techniques and local tools they use to monitor, to evaluate locally. So we, as an evaluator, we need to be facilitators on how the communities can conduct evaluation within their own context in terms of like doing folk songs, doing those traditional dances. How can we incorporate evaluation, and how can evaluators be like the agent of change? They be the catalyst for utilization of evaluation by the beneficiaries themselves, because they understand where the problem, the solution are being solved, and whether the problem itself has been solved. So those are the people we need to empower. That was another line of thinking. Then question 3 was, what critical considerations are needed for evaluation profession in Africa? So one of the key things that came out is Africa has different cultures and communities. So therefore, ethical considerations should be centered in terms of we respect those cultures. And the way most of the development in terms of application of policies, usually the moment it works in Nigeria, works in Kenya, works in South Africa, and that's not the case. So it can work in Kenya in a particular community, it can work in different communities within national boundaries. So it should be within each community with whichever boundary they are in. Then number 4, the last one I'm finishing, how can youth contribute to evaluation capacity development agenda in Africa? So number 1 was more space and room for youth to be active doers and decision makers. And then also systems, there should be systems for supporting the youth within the networks. Then have spaces for youth to practice evaluation. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, group 2. Let's move to group 3. And there are 2 facilitators there. Asen, are you there?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. It is a pleasure to participate to this eval for action. And our discussion, we have a good discussion, and the report will be presented by Edem. So thank you very much. Edem, you have the floor.
The floor is all yours.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Arsene, and thanks to everyone. Yeah, in our group, like I think the same challenge most of the group faces. We have only one participant plus the two facilitators. So we are three in our group. But like Arsene said, that we've been able to reflect on those different questions, and these are the outcome of our discussions. So our group was assigned the responsibility to answer those the questions on the how do we nurture Made in Africa evaluation approach to support the implementation of the SDG and then Agenda 2063, which is Africa we want. So the first question is how the Made in Africa evaluation approach could be put into practice to support the achievement of the Continental Development Agenda, including SDGs and then Agenda 2063. For this one, the group first reflect a bit about the concept itself of the Made in Africa, and then to clarify some of the key elements that will support this concept. So the whole thing is about how to ensure that evaluation that we do in Africa take into account the reality, socioeconomic, political, and demographic, cultural belief of people in Africa. So the criteria that we use in other part of the world may not be applied in the African context. So the whole thing is to include or to pay attention to the values of African values when we are doing evaluation. So for this question, how this Made in Africa can support the implementation of the Agenda 2063 and SDG, we believe that for this development agenda to achieve their result, we need to adapt, of course, this evaluation into the socioeconomic and political context in Africa. For instance, if you take the criteria, we use one of the criteria or one of the indicators in the ODD, and then which related to the health. So the point is that if you use this criteria as standard criteria for the health, we want to assess to the health system in Africa, and you use these criteria. Sometimes you find that if because their community may have some different belief, they may not attend directly, or they may not participate in or access the official centers, but they will go for those traditional support for the health issues. So we need to understand this to be able to see if, even though they are not accessing the I would say the formal health centers, is there any way that they are doing or they are taking care of their health issues? So if you are using those traditional criteria, we may not have this information. So the perception of the community or the worldview of the community is also very important. And for this question also, we said that because we don't probably have enough information on the community or about the local people, that is why some of those evaluations are facing challenges. So one way of doing it is to develop indigenous knowledge system that will inform evaluation of the Agenda 2063 and then the Sustainable Development Goal program. For the second question, which is about what unique insights could the Made in African evaluation approach bring to evaluation practice in African countries. By the way, it is a French group. So what we did is to work in French, and then just summarizing the work in English, and then we can now polish it and then share it with the whole the African Africa team later. So the second question is we have got some point. The first point is in terms of the insight is to ensure that evaluation is participative and inclusive. So especially when it comes to do the design of the evaluation, to ensure that the population, especially the local population or the beneficiaries, are involved or are active part of this process, not just to take them as a passive, participant of this evaluation. And the program and projects of that we use to implement the Agenda 2063 or the SDGs. Sometimes also they use experts who have not got enough information or knowledge on the situation or the context. So sometimes those experts are biased against the reality or the work that they are doing. So we also need to ensure that these issues or challenges also be raised. And also these concepts made in Africa can also use as a key factor to reinforce the adaptation of the evaluation model and the design of the evaluation work by ensuring that there is an active participation of the local actors in the process. The third question, which is about the how should country go about creating awareness and integrating Made in African evaluation in their national M&E systems. For this one, we have got some, again, the reflection. We are saying that one way of doing this sensitization and integrating Made in African evaluation in the national M&E system is to ensure this, to promote this evaluation, institutionalization of evaluation in countries. The second is to support the national developers, especially the youth, in not only financially, but also technical capacity building for and around the concept. And also to make sure that we have been celebrating this evaluation day to or week, so that to ensure that learning and sharing and experience are active and then are promoted across the countries. And also we are proposing to develop a full guide on document the principles of the Made in African evaluation concept, because this concept is being used, but there is less documentation or literature around this, especially to ensure that we have a common understanding of this. And then the last point is also we are proposing that there might be a kind of the revision or development of evaluation curriculum meeting the principles and requirements of Made in African evaluation. This is the summary of what the group have discussed. Thank you very much, and then over to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Adam and Group 3. Fazila has just reminded me to sort of implore the people reporting back to stick to the 1 minute limit. I know these are quite substantive issues we're discussing, but due to time constraints, I think I'll have to enforce for the following groups that they need to stick to 1 minute. And also please be reminded to also send your group's report back to Fazila, and she's given an email address on the chat so that we don't lose the insights that we've gained from these various groups. Group 4, Mr. Gabriel will be providing a report back. 1 minute, sir.
All right, thank you. Group 4, we also looked at how to nurture Made in Africa evaluation approaches to support the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals to achieve the Africa we want. And so on point 1, which looked at how Made in Africa evaluations approaches could be put into practice to support the Agenda 2063. The first key point is to involve the grassroots. In this case, we mean that the people who are going to be beneficiaries of Made in Africa evaluation should be involved right from the beginning in the design, implementation, and evaluation of these interventions so that they can give the necessary recommendations to improve the results and outcomes of the interventions that will be implemented. It also means that the evaluability criteria should be done by African evaluators. The objectives and intended objectives and the nature and approach that the evaluation should take should be done by Africans and with Africans. On the second point, which looked at the unique insight that could be drawn from the Made in Africa evaluation approaches within the African continent, we came up with a two-step approach. The first one is intercontinental approach, and the second one is intracontinental approach. By intercontinental approach, we are looking at African countries working together to come up with common ideas to support each other in terms of technical assistance and approaches. Diverse as Africans are, we do have some commonalities that make us a continent. And so if, for instance, Ghana is implementing an intervention and personnel, other evaluators in Kenya or Benin have expertise in that area, they can work together to implement that evaluation. And in so doing, we are promoting Made in Africa evaluations. And then intracontinental approach looks at countries looking within themselves, looking at the resources they have at their exposure. For instance, the civil society organizations, the non-state actors. How can government tap into these resources in promoting evaluation practices on the continent? We discussed that CSOs in our countries have rich resources and expertise that we can tap into. And so when we want to do evaluation that is centered within the African context, we can contact these civil society organizations and think tanks and then buy from their expertise to promote the African evaluation that we want. And then on the last point, which we looked at how countries should go about creating awareness. The first suggestion was to promote rigorous publication on Made in Africa evaluation approaches. And this is going to ensure that we decolonize evaluation practice in Africa and then promote African-made evaluations that is being conducted by Africans. And then also we suggested that the people who commission evaluations have a bigger say on how evaluation is done, when it is done, and where it is done. And so African governments should find a way to amplify evaluation practices that is centered in African countries. And so governments should commission their own evaluations. They should design and then implement evaluations on their own initiatives. And so when you come to Ghana and we can talk about the free senior high school policy, the one district, one factory, and all that we are talking about, the government should find a way to integrate evaluation into either their programs or their manifestos so that we can hold them accountable for the programs and projects that they implement within their tenure. And so importantly, the team of evaluators who will do the work should be people from Africa. And then the report should be submitted to the parliament of the country for interrogation so that duty bearers will be held accountable. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gabriel. Group 5, I think it's Antonio who's reporting back.
Okay, hi everyone. In group 5, we didn't go basically through the questions. We were talking about professionalization of evaluation, including young and emerging evaluators. So basically what we did is just talking about the first thing that we raised is that the point, or one of the best things that we should focus is training. Okay, and as we were discussing, we realized that in Africa, we find less organization which works on training people in course related to monitoring and evaluation. So it's better to involve young and skill sharing process, involve young people in the skill sharing process in different way. We can help in mentoring program. Okay, when we talk about mentoring program, we are talking about internship is one of them. Webinar, try to take more young people in process in webinar. Also take this organization involved in evolves. And the other point is that most of organizations, I'm talking about the university, they don't provide this type of course. And sometimes when they provide, is a short course, and sometimes it costs high, it's very expensive. So it makes it difficult to young evaluator to improve their knowledge related to evaluation. The second point is that in process of training, we think that it's important to consider issues related to culture and ethic. I think that is not to be hidden that here in Africa, the process of evaluation is an issue. The government, some type of organization, they don't believe that the process of evaluation would help the organization, even the funding organization. So it's important in process of training, put those 2 points, issue related to ethic and culture. And the other point is that issue related to contribute that the young evaluator can help in process of capacity development in Africa. So the points that we raised here is that the young evaluator should be more involved in process related to find a mentor. As we said that normally we here in Africa, we don't have too much organization that helps young evaluators. I think we should find a mentor, someone who knows more about evaluation process and get some knowledge from that people. And also at the same time, most of the organization which works too much in process of M&D should help this young evaluator in process of training, mentorship, and other process. Thank you.
Thank you, Antonio, and Group 5. We'll now move to Group 6. Fazila, I think you're the one reporting back there.
It will be Leticia.
Yep. So I'll try to be very brief. The consolidated notes will be shared with the rest of the team, but in the interest of time, then I'll try to be super brief in the report back. So we were discussing around M&E systems and how national M&E systems can effectively support countries post-COVID-19 recovery plans for ensuring the achievement of the SDGs and the Agenda 2063. And we really spoke about how in a context where we already had national systems that were at different stages of development and that were already somewhat experiencing some challenges, that they need to be strengthened even further now after COVID-19, and that VOPIs play a an interesting role in making sure that they provide access to experts in M&E, that they can develop standards of ethics around evaluation and competencies for evaluators. So the types of guidelines that can also guide governments in understanding, how it is. They also play a key role in advocating for evaluation and the importance of evaluation for learning. And that's a key role that VOPIs can play. And also in providing technical assistance to government in terms of making sure that we meet government at whatever stage they are and whatever needs they have, because we understand that different countries are at different levels in terms of their M&E system. Something else that we mentioned was that maybe a freer can, and maybe working together with Twendembele, that they could establish, ways of facilitating collaboration between the different M&E stakeholders, like governments, VOPIs, development partners, and all of that. So about coordinating the response after COVID-19. And then the last point was about what role YEEs have to play in this. And it really is about establishing or developing the link with youth networks that are already existing. And also that for YEEs, it's really hard for their voice to be heard unless they really join the regional or national VOPE and they start engaging in the conversation. And that's how, they can be part of this wider system of that. Oh, and lastly, that it's important for VOPIs to also lead the capacity building of YEEs so that they can engage further in strengthening these M&E systems. So I think that's it. The rest is going to go in the notes. Thank you.
Thank you, Letitia and Group 6. We now move to Group 7, and I think Taruna is the one reporting back from that group. Over to you, Taruna.
Actually, it is Tomasz. Taruna was not around.
Okay.
And yes, and I'm happy because the other groups already spoke about it. We also had we also had this to discuss about how do we need a Made in Africa evaluation approach to support the implementation. So I'll just summarize and maybe give some points which we think we should put more emphasis. One of the things we mentioned for the first point on how the Made in Africa evaluation approach could be put in practice, we said the importance of involving the civil society, involving the academic institution, involving the government in terms of developing the terms of reference, also guidelines to make sure to also start having this buy-in from all parties. I don't know if you can hear me. I keep hearing someone who is saying hello.
Okay,
we can hear you.
We can hear you perfectly, Thomas.
Okay, thank you. So also we said that will be good to have a consultations, having the organization like AFRIA and other regional and national organization around the countries in Africa doing consultations, involving as well the government to make sure that there's a buy-in in the beginning. And also we mentioned about the involvement of African young evaluators in the start of each project, not just being invited just to be part of the team when everything is done, just to be doing maybe data collection in the field and so on. So that is what we discussed in summary. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Let's move to Group 8. I'm not sure who's reporting back between Jean-Luc or Mark. Is it you, Mark Mulobi?
It's Jean. Jean will report. Jean, please be brief.
Yeah. I will be brief. Donc, la première question, donc permettez-moi de m'exprimer en français. Allow me to speak in French. Donc, concernant la première question, il s'agit de quelle nouvelle approche peut-on utiliser pour renforcer les connaissances et pratiques en matière d'évaluation et d'influence. Donc, pour cette première question, nous pensons qu'il faut développer donc, des plateformes de formation qui bénéficient à tout le monde. Il faut aussi renforcer les capacités des groupes en matière d'évaluation. La deuxième question, c'est
your sound is very faint.
Allô?
Jean-Luc?
Yeah.
Okay, now I can hear you. Yes, please continue.
Okay. La deuxième question, c'est quelle masse critique devons-nous identifier comme une priorité sur laquelle nous devons nous concentrer? Donc, nous pensons que la masse critique sur laquelle on doit se concentrer, c'est la collaboration. Il faut arrêter de travailler en silo et mettre nos efforts ensemble. Ensuite, quelles considérations éthiques sont nécessaires pour la professionnalisation de l'évaluation en Afrique? Donc, pour nous, nous pensons qu'il faut rédiger une charte d'éthique de bonne conduite pour réguler la profession de l'évaluation en Afrique.
Jean, I think people cannot hear you.
The sound,
yes, the sound is a bit problematic. I'm not sure if Mark, you can jump in to assist, but the sound is very faint.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I can hear you.
All right, I think moderator, I think we'll share the notes because of the interest of time.
Thank you.
Think yeah. Please, moderator, take the floor.
Okay.
Mark, please.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Let's move to the last group, Group 9. Is it Sana who's reporting back?
Hi, Sana was not there with us. This is Shiko. I'm going to go ahead and report. I'll report in English as well. There'll be a French translation, which I will send in as well. Our question was, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly. You may go ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you. Our question is building robust national M&E policies and systems for evidence-based decision-making in African countries. Our first point was use of data to make evidence-based decisions and policies that will become the norm, the norm or the culture. Creation of local and regional collaborative M&E networks, governments, workplace, civil society, and academia. We also talked about using the law to make M&E a requirement in projects across the board. Also to do advocacy to encourage data use and to encourage M&E use to where M&E is not seen as something suspicious or something punitive. Also, we talked about paying the people working with data, like say the data officers or data collectors or whatever, paying them well to avoid temptation of corruption to where, they can be biased to, change data or something like that. Also training them well. And we also noticed during COVID-19 situation, we've really not been using real statistical data. We've been using estimations. And we also felt that in Africa, as a unit, we need to produce our own evidence. We need to produce our own approaches. We need to do African-centric type stuff. This is not to say that there's anything wrong with other approaches and stuff like that. It just means we need to start developing our own data to where our results and our policies and our solutions will be suited to our problems. Now, with regard to the young and emerging evaluators, we we had a conversation about there being a bit of hit and miss with regard to opportunities, jobs, after this researchers, young and emerging evaluators, complete their studies. Some of the suggestions we had is the young and emerging evaluators can leverage their skills, their techiness, the fact that they're multilingual to get access to jobs. They can do it through a volunteership, through a straight up job. We also agreed that the youth should develop a culture of reading. They should join their local networks, their local VOPEs. For example, right now, if you're listening and you in your country, you can look up whoever your local VOPE is. Afrea Yi, if you're an emerging evaluator, is a wonderful place to go and find out what is going on in matters evaluation, what your peers are doing, what you can do to help, etc. And on the global level, there is the Value Global Network. I encourage you to Google that if maybe in your country there's not a VOPE. We also discovered that when you volunteer, whatever you get back is very rewarding, and it lets you have access that way. We also talked about standardization of university curriculums across, local and regional level. Other ways we can access jobs that we like would be internships, mentorships, and scholarships. Short courses that potentially have job placements on a local and regional level would be fantastic. And then finally, our last point on, I guess, a lighter note is to talk to those of you here who are in charge of creating jobs and posting them, to please go easy on the 20-year job experience requirement, because it's kind of scary for an entry-level job, especially when you're a young and emerging evaluator looking to get into evaluation. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I think now group is
Hello?
Group one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, very brief. Yeah, because our question similar to group 9 was how we can build robust M&E policies and systems for evidence-based decision-making in African countries. So our first sub question was what roles VOPE and partners can play to improve access to and use of evidence in emergency contexts and development management in African countries. So the key points we mentioned was to push for governments to use evaluation reports and the lessons learned that we have to enact the M&E policies that we have, to push for government to enact M&E policies, and to have a lot more commitments towards implementing M&E systems. So the next one was look at what African countries can do to build strong and robust national M&E systems that to support decision making. So we talked similar to the first point, we talked about to implement the national policies, because a lot of African countries that we realized had their national policies, M&E policies in place, but implementing it haven't been done. We talked about to encourage or push for parliamentarians or lawmakers to see the use of evaluations, and also to get in existing evaluations and make them available and accessible. On our third sub question, which was how we can, how you in the various African countries can effectively participate in M&E. We talked about to have mentors, like someone mentioned earlier, to join many discussions that we are having right now. We share, we learn, and to find champions in M&E work, and also to finding new technologies where youth can make a contribution. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Group 1. Thank you to all the groups who have contributed. I have no doubt that all the inputs that have been provided are feeding into the action plan for this particular consultation. Special thanks to the speakers who spoke to us in the first session. We learned a lot about quite a range of M&E ecosystem stakeholders, ranging from government institutions, Twendembele doing a lot of work there, the Africa Development Bank also being quite involved through its unit called the Independent Evaluation Group, it's IDEF. We've heard a lot from VOPs and how they've become increasingly important. And we know that Africa has been quite vocal and quite deliberate in terms of enforcing the key role of VOPs in country M&E ecosystems. This also ties into what the various groups have touched into with regards to professionalizing evaluation practice and the special role that VOPs can play in that particular area when we speak of the 3 priority areas that have been adopted. The Made in Africa evaluation approach has come out quite strongly, and we've fleshed out in the various groups, they've fleshed out the various plans ranging from scholarship towards a focus on values, a focus on Africa-centered approaches, African-centered methodologies. I think Fazila and the entire planning team, thank you for convening this particular meeting, and I have no doubt that the rich information that has come out of the group sessions will flesh out or will provide the meat for the action plan that will come out of this particular session. And I would like to implore all the groups to send their inputs to the particular email on the chat. It has been put up. Please send it through so that we don't lose any of the insightful inputs that have been provided by all the groups. And apologies to the Secretariat and the Planning Committee because I could not restrict people to 1 minute because the information that was coming out was quite interesting. So apologies to the Planning Committee for going above the allocated time. So outside of this consultation, we now move to the West and Central African region. And this is slated for around the middle of May. So please watch out for communications from the Africa Evaluation Association and the Africa Evaluation Association network. Please look out for their social media pages, Twitter, for when that announcement will come for the East and for the Central and West Africa region. So from my side, it's been a pleasure to facilitate this consultation, and I hope to see you in the Central and West African consultation. Thank you very much, colleagues, and have yourself a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thanks, Ayabalera. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Antonio.
Thank you. Bye.
everyone.
Next time.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. I think now, Kevin, we could stop the recording, then end the call. Thank you.
Yeah. I just want to check, could we copy the chat box maybe? Would we be able to copy the chat box, someone?
Yeah, it's Abigail.
Download it.
Yeah,
It
if
will
you could
download
download.
with
Yeah, if you could download the chat box, that would be great, Abigail. So Mark and I will just be leaving.